Not in the best of moods this afternoon. My internet service, which has been consistently great for the better part of 10 years, it's been absolutely god awful recently. When you do what I do here for a living, one thing you have got to have is fast, reliable internet. When the internet has actually been working today, the speed has resembled a dial up modem from the 1990s. I had to actually upload my video earlier using the hotspot on my cell phone. Otherwise, it was going to take me 2 or 3 hours. Now, of course, I called my internet provider and they proved to be completely useless. I connect with Mahmood over in Pakistan who can't relate to my first world problems. He's more concerned with the mudslide toppling his grass hut than some spoiled American complaining about his internet speed. I can't say that I blame him either. I wouldn't want to listen to me bitch and complain about my internet, so I'm already not in the best mood this afternoon. And what are the first stories that slowly populate my news feed? Pampered NBA players complaining about the media. I'm so tired of the modern NBA. A league that was once filled with rugged, tough alpha males has been overrun with whiny, complaining beta males. The NBA and the WNBA, they have a similar problem, a problem that was created by both of their commissioners. In both leagues, the players have all the power. 2 years ago, occupants of the dump were able to negotiate an undeserved increase in their woke welfare. The WNBA hemorrhages money. They lose millions of dollars every year. They cannot keep the lights on in the dump. At night, you don't know if that's a person digging through the trash looking for food or if it's a colony of rats building their nest. Yet for some unknown reason, the league thought it was a good idea to concede to the players' unjustified demands. Well, KC, they didn't want to lose their star players to leagues overseas. Who fucking cares? There's no such thing as a star player in the WNBA. You're not drawing crowds. You're not drawing television ratings with these overpaid participants that you have now. If they want to go play overseas, let them. All they do here is complain about mythical misogyny and oppression, complain about their travel conditions, and complain about the lack of quality razors supplied by the WNBA for facial trimming. Now, as far as the NBA is concerned, the players, they've held all the power for the better part of a decade. This is the most unbalanced league in terms of power. This is the most unbalanced league in sports. Contracts mean nothing. All an NBA contract guarantees is that the player signing it will become abundantly rich. The teams have no power. The franchise assumes all the risk. We have to keep the baby happy or he will start whining and disrupt the locker room. Then he'll force his way out of town. Imagine for a second that you're a banker and the NBA contract is a loan. It's an easy parallel to draw. NBA teams, they push out hundreds of millions of dollars to these star players up front, hoping to receive a return on their investment on the back end, just like banks loan money, hoping to collect the interest on the back end. If we look at it like that, what bank in the world would assume this kind of risk? The risk falls entirely on the bank. They receive no guarantee that the player is going to perform. They receive no guarantee the player will honor the contract. There is not a bank in America that would assume this kind of risk. They'd be out of business. Last year, the mainstream media crucified Kyrie Irving for refusing to be Fauci fucked. Every week, Stephen A. Smith would go on Woke Take and exhibit his fake outrage. Kyrie Irving is selfish. Kyrie Irving isn't honoring his NBA contract. He's lazy. He refuses to go to work. I don't understand. I have been Fauci fucked 4 times. Next to a Max Kellerman woke hug, Fauci was the best lover in my life. Kyrie should open himself to Fauci love. But when it comes to Kevin Durant forcing himself out of Brooklyn, essentially voiding the final 4 years of the contract he signed last year, I don't see this same energy from the mainstream media. Hell, Stephen A. Smith, he's more worried about Kevin Durant not addressing Kyrie's vaccination status on his podcast. Now, one person who's not afraid to touch on this subject, Draymond Green. Dre, does this guy ever shut the fuck up? I get so tired of hearing Draymond Green bloviate. I have been waiting for months for him to say one thing that's right. Last night, around 1 o'clock in the morning, Dre attended the woke circle jerk with the other wanker spankers on Twitter. As they were passing around the cucumber and the hand lotion, SportsCenter was on the monitor in the background. Two ESPN personalities that no one's ever heard of, they were talking about Kevin Durant forcing his way out of Brooklyn. One of the anchors mentioned that this process could take a while to complete. Kevin Durant's got a huge contract. The Nets are going to want a lot in return for him. It's going to be a difficult trade to pull off. A lot of details go into it. Now, in response to this deal possibly taking a while, the other anchor responded, and I'm quoting this verbatim. It's a good point. He's an emotional guy. I mean, anything could happen. Pretty harmless, right? Nothing controversial about that statement. It's well known Kevin Durant's an emotional dude. Most normal men, we would hear that statement and just brush it off and move on, especially if it wasn't said about you. Even if it was directed towards you, most normal men would just let it slide. Not Draymond Green, though. No. Clearly, this shitfuck has spent too much time on Twitter this offseason. The last 4 weeks, Draymond Green has spent all his time looking for something in the media to offend him. Check out this bullshit. Who are you to call someone emotional? What makes you comfortable? Talk basketball. You're fucking kidding me, right? Please tell me I didn't just see this blatant hypocrisy. First of all, when did calling someone emotional become an insult? Kevin Durant will tell you he's emotional. He's a sensitive dude. Draymond Green should be able to relate. Hell, every player in the modern NBA should be able to relate. I don't lump Kevin Durant in with the rest of these emotional woke shitfucks. I've never seen an example of Kevin Durant being a woke beta male, but Draymond Green damn sure is. If I remember correctly, 2 months ago, Draymond Green was offended that Chris Russo told him to shut up and play basketball. He told him to keep the theatrics out of it. Matter of fact, Draymond Green was so offended by it that he tried to turn it into mythical racism. Watch his reaction to Chris Russo from back in May.
Shut up and play, will you please? America's tired of Draymond Green.
I'm not one to really pull the race card very often because I think, we all know the role that race play in the world that we live in. But that definitely had a very racist connotation. Those shut up and play, shut up and dribble days, those are long gone. We don't listen to that anymore. We don't want to hear it anymore. It has no place here, and nor will it be tolerated.
So let me get this straight. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You don't want to be told to stick to basketball. You don't want to be told how to do your job. You don't want someone who's paid to analyze the NBA telling you to shut the fuck up and play basketball. But you want to tell people in the media how to do their job. Draymond Green told the dude to talk basketball. Wasn't that exactly what he was doing? This is another example of the entitlement prevalent throughout the modern NBA. Draymond Green represents everything wrong with this league. These players can dish it out, but they can't take it. They believe they are immune to criticism. They want to criticize the media. They want to criticize their own fan base. But when it comes time for them to be criticized, they tell you, shut up and talk basketball. Really? Really? For the past 2 or 3 years, all I've heard from NBA players is about how the game is more than basketball. We are activists. We are influencers. I'm not defined by my NBA status. Don't talk to me about basketball. Talk to me about woke hugs and Fauci fucking. I am so sick of Draymond Green and this new media. Kobe Bryant wasn't worried about forming a new media. Kobe Bryant was worried about winning championships. Michael Jordan wasn't focused on the media. He was focused on winning. These modern NBA players, they're all worried about social media impressions and podcast analytics. How many fucking NBA players need to have a podcast? Have you listened to Draymond Green's podcast? It's unbearable. Same goes with Kevin Durant. I mean, I like Kevin Durant, but he's not entertaining to listen to. The NFL, they don't have this same problem. You know why? Because the league is in charge. The teams are in charge. There's no entitlement in the NFL. Your ass can be cut tomorrow. Contract voided. Not that way in the NBA, though. Draymond Green, he can start all the shit he wants, go to bed knowing his contract's fully guaranteed in the morning. The NBA, they are filled with spoiled, entitled shit fucks. Then they wonder why television ratings are in the pooper. And speaking of entitled shit fucks, LeBron James, he tweeted out a response to the criticism he's been receiving over his Brittany Griner comments. I'm not sure why he's acting all surprised. This was clearly a marketing ploy to bring attention to his failing television show. Check it out for yourself. I wasn't disrespecting our beautiful country full of mythical racism and oppression from the evil white devil. I was simply explaining how my woke sister is feeling locked up in that cage. Dude, stop. Just stop. You're only digging the hole deeper. You know exactly what you were doing when you released that clip. There's no defending what you said. I've seen numerous people say if LeBron were in Brittany Griner's same situation that he would have been home months ago. I used to think that was true. I'm starting to have my doubts. I'm not sure the vast majority of Americans would want LeBron James back home either. Matter of fact, if he were sharing a cell right now with Brittany Griner, I think most people would be happy about it. In my lifetime, I have never seen the NBA in this bad of a condition. This league used to be loved, it used to be respected. But this is what happens when you let the employees run the office. There's a reason you have an owner and you have employees. Someone has to be the decision maker. Who's making the decisions in the NBA? It ain't Adam Silver, not Mark Cuban or other team owners. The players hold all the power, and it's the reason the league continues to see its popularity decline. But let me know what you think. The hypocrisy of Draymond Green calling out an ESPN anchor for doing his job, but being offended when Chris Russo tells Draymond Green to do his job. Also, give me your thoughts on the modern NBA, the modern NBA player. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.